What year did you bang her? Was it 1982 when she was at her peak? Like,
I took those little white cowboy shorts off her. I went to town.
Recorded live from Studio 12A in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to the Josh and Friends Podcast.
thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends Podcast. I am your host. My name is Josh. And this week, the show welcomes back Steve Klunk to the program. And we'll be covering a few different topics, including emotional support animals, Christmas songs that are worth millions, and we review a list of the reasons why you should never have kids. So let's get right into this and help me welcome back to the show. He is my good buddy, the one and only Mr. Steve Klunk. Steve the Man Klunk.
Roger that.
What's up, buddy?
Missed you. Not gonna lie.
Likewise. It's always good to have you here, man. When were you here? Like earlier this year?
Earlier this year, good to be in studio. I forget, this is my fourth time on your podcast. One was by phone, one was by video, one was in studio, and this next one is in studio.
Dang, what do you think? What do you like, the festive tree over here? Or?
I like the digs. Yeah, I'm festive today. A little orange shirt going on.
I like it. Yeah.
I'm bringing it. You're bringing
It's good stuff.
the Hawaiian game, the snap.
I'm always bringing the Hawaiian game.
You got that game.
So you got a treat today, huh?
I got a treat today.
So how'd that go? No? Yeah?
Hey, you like
Did you go chop it down or?
Tomahawk Farms. It's like 67th and Olive-ish area,
Okay.
something like that. Kind of a yearly thing. My wife likes the natural tree. I could care less.
You're like, I mean,
You got to do.
you can have it for a couple weeks.
And put some shit on it, whatever.
So how are the kids?
Kids are good. Kids are a lot.
When was your second born?
She's 6 months old.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah. She's just had her 6-month checkup. Strangely enough, they were supposed to give her shots or whatever, but they were out of them. So they're going to give us a call. We got to take her back for.
We'll call you.
Yeah,
when we're ready. When we're ready. Yeah.
Remember how that whole thing, we had to bring her here? You're going to have to do that.
Oh, yeah, because that's easy to do.
That's fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Simple.
'Cause we have nothing else going on.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
hanging out with a kid.
Yeah. Well, so we'll just do that. Are there any funny stories that you have of your kids? Anything crazy? Any wild
Now
stories?
she's 6 months old, so she can eat, food now.
Yeah.
She's only ever had formula or breast milk her whole life.
Yeah.
So there's a couple, videos and stuff of her eating pears was her first food. And, she's just.
Ever tell you that story where my I think it was my dad gave me an apple, like a cut apple. He's like, I think you could do with it. I'm choking on the apple. Like a little baby,
Yeah.
And my mom's like, he's turning like purple. And he's like, he finally literally reaches all the way. Like the last thing you're supposed to do is reach your whole finger down. And my dad saved my life, but he almost killed me.
She did do that. She you steam the food and then frappe it, right? And then she eats smothered food.
Yeah, right.
Not whole apples.
Blended or,
Matlock.
very fine. Yeah. In the wild, the actual animals will eat it first and then regurgitate it up so the kid can eat it. Yeah, not my dad. He's like, I think you can handle an apple. What are you, pussy? You can't handle this apple?
How about it, fella?
That's how he learned to swim too. He just threw me in there. I was like, I guess I'm learning to swim because I'm not ready to die.
So, Tempe Walker, that's how he learned how to swim. I threw him in a pool when he was 12 years old at his brother's big.
Is this a real story?
Yeah.
This is how you taught somebody how to swim?
Yeah. Give him the old Chuckarino into the pool.
Wow.
He's a swimmer now.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah. Hated me for a little while, but he learned how to swim.
That's wow.
Tempe,
okay.
Tempe, what's up? I want to shout out to Trent and Lee. fuck you. Shout out to Irene Nivens. Fuck you too.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
So, all right. We were just talking about some kids. So I saw this story of this Australian model. I don't know if you heard this. It's pretty good. Well, I thought it was funny. So she keeps getting asked why she doesn't have kids. And she's getting annoyed. So what she did, Steve, is she came up with 117 reasons why she doesn't want kids.
Okay.
And I thought I'd read some of these off to you.
I like it. I could probably name 120. 117.
Right. Now, so yeah, a lot of these are going to be like, a lot of these are going to be
Border.
kind of like, okay, well, yeah, that comes along. Everybody knows that from having a kid,
Personal
but
freedom. Blah,
right.
blah, blah.
But, some of these are kind of like, yeah, okay, I get it. And then a lot of these are, just like I said, it comes to the territory of having a kid. This is going to happen if you have a kid.
You're right.
So I pulled a few of these here.
Let's go.
The first one that I saw was so you become second priority to your partner.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, that's especially like if you're like
You're not going to fuck again. Let me tell you, people.
No, especially if you're like in the dating world, they always say like, hey, don't go out with a single mom because right off the bat, you're like, depending on how many kids she has, you're definitely going to be number 2, number 3, number 4. I don't know how many kids she has, but goes with the territory.
Fair enough.
These get better because these are kind of funny. There's like I said, some of these are ridiculous.
This is just hot Australian model.
Yeah. Okay. Some hot Australian model. They could turn into a serial killer.
I guess that's
I'm like, wow, okay, well, that's it. I'm not having kids.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't want to have a kid because it'll be a murderer.
Yeah. Luckily for you, those are usually men.
Oh, good. I have girls. That's good.
Yes. Yeah. So, so there you go.
Plus,
yeah.
Ding.
Children are noisy.
Fucking A. They're just doing shit.
Yeah.
The other day, my kid just starts running from the garage door to the front door, to the garage door to the front door. And she's going, Mom, I'm running for 30 minutes. I was like, there you go.
Isn't that one of those things though, where you look at it and you're like, man, to have that energy, like it's amazing, right?
I recorded her and I was just like, she was going door, nonstop.
The good thing about that though, is that there's a timer. Like when they go out, they're out, right? Like after that kind of thing, like it might take a while.
Yeah.
But when they're out, they're just like boom.
Yeah.
Gone.
But when they're up, they're up.
Oh.
It's on.
Oh yeah.
It's on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every morning, like it's like a feast or famine, like because got both the girls' room on the opposite side of the house and they're like on a little camera.
Yeah, right.
Half and half, both of them. And you can see one of them start stirring. It's always about 6:30.
Great.
6:45. And you're just like, I gotta fake asleep. So maybe my wife can go get them.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? And she's like, she's probably doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Right? She's in her own world. Like, she's like, I gotta fake asleep so this motherfucker will go get him. And it just kind of works out. One of us will go get him, or she'll.
So far, you're bonding with this list.
She'll give me the old nudge and be like, go get, what's it? Yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck, And I'm like, it's so sad when I get up nowadays too, because like my feet hurt and my ankles hurt.
Just everything hurts.
Yeah, I'm just like, and I always have to go take a piss. I'm like, I gotta take a piss first, and it's like I don't want to.
I wish I could say it gets better.
No. Yeah, because I'm thinking about it too. It's like, man, and one of them has a deuce, like, so I'm just wiping a gnarly shit. And I'm like, dude, it's 6:47, and I'm like, oh fuck, this stinks, right?
Yeah.
The one's eating normal food now. So it's like.
That was actually on the list, buddy.
Oh.
Changing dirty diapers. Yep. Pregnancy can cause diabetes. gestational diabetes. Women can get gestational diabetes from. How about this one? Your nipples can reach the size of dinner plates.
True story.
I could see a model being like, you know what? I don't want my nipples to look like dinner plates.
Like that fucking
big, giant
that area
round circle.
just went.
Right.
Let me get that.
I like how this one. This is just kids are annoying. they're annoying, but you know what? You could also do a list of like good things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously it could go both ways. You know, hey, kids are like funny as hell. Like they do funny stuff.
It's fantastic. Like you'll digress, but you'll come forward at the same time, right? It's the most beautiful and horrible thing,
right?
At the same time, right? It's the yin and yang, right? It's like it's because like
I think one of the best things would be like seeing them discover things.
Yes.
Like, you know, like, whoa, they're discovering this or discovering that, or like finding out.
Or I like to see them in their own like habitat, if you will, right? Like I'll always think to myself when she's at her daycare or whatever, like, I wish I could be a fly on the wall and see what she's doing right now. What is she doing right now? How is she interacting?
Oh, they don't have that capability yet at these daycares?
Ours doesn't. I mean, she goes to like a home daycare, like a resident. And
okay.
She has only like a few kids.
Yeah.
And it's at her home.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I'm still amazed, man. She's 2.5 and she you know, she's just spouting out her ABCs and counting 1 to 10. And I'm just like,
dang,
where the fuck did you learn that from?
Wasn't from Steve.
Yeah, no.
Was not from Steve Klunk.
No, yeah, she's like, basketball. I'm like, Dad likes basketball. Get after it, kid. But it is, yeah, it definitely is the yin and yang because you're like, you look at it and you're like, yeah, change them, clothe them, feed them, take care of them, love them.
Yeah.
It's work.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, kids are annoying. I remember I went to all-inclusive wedding in Cancun. And
oh, no.
One cool, I mean, it was expensive as hell, but it was for a buddy of mine. And the one cool thing about the resort, I'm going to throw it out there. It might sound shitty, but it was
adult only.
It was 18 and old.
Yeah.
18 over.
You're flying to Cancun. It should be.
I know. But
yeah.
I mean, silently, that was a really cool part of it. It was a really cool part of it.
The last time I went to Cancun,
shitheads running around crying.
Yeah.
Yipping,
I didn't even think about it. Like we booked a hotel because of where it was to the bars, but it was we didn't even think about it. It was just everything. It was just like a regular hotel. And there was kids everywhere. It was a nightmare. Oh. But like, it was funny because the first time I went there, it was an all adult like place.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. I was like, whoa, it was like night and day. It was night and day.
I didn't even think about it. And then after it, and I go, oh, fuck, that was fucking awesome.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. We didn't have kids at the time, so it totally made sense.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when you really think about it, I go, that was a plus.
Yeah. How about this one, Steve? How about this one? See, some of these are kind of like ridiculous. And this can happen to anybody, not just kids. They're like, what if they get abducted or killed?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Like,
gotta watch out for that.
You know what? The main reason I didn't want kids is because I didn't want them to get abducted or murdered.
Didn't want that. Or to be a murderer. I mean, just naming shit that can happen to anybody.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, there's 117 of these. I think I could come up with probably a better list of topics. But you know, this is her list, and we're gonna go by her list here. Now, this one I wasn't aware of, but I mean, no sex 6 weeks post birth. Is that a thing? I don't.
That's a thing.
Okay.
It gets wrecked. All of that downstairs.
I can imagine. All right. You could have this one's. Now this one would be a legit one because this is scary. What's going on over there? What do you? This would be scary. You could have twins, triplets, or quadruplets. Can you imagine? You're like, I just want to have one kid, and they're like, sir, you're having 4 kids. I'm like, oh shit. Well, my life has really changed immediately right now.
Yeah, I can. Wow. I mean, I guess you just stumble across that stick when you trip over it. Or like, but I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah. How does the adoption work, folks? Doctor?
Yeah.
No.
Can I? You can have this one. I'll take this one.
Can I just have one of them?
Yeah, I don't know. You. There's a
The
fire
cute-
department, not that.
can I have the cute
far
one?
from my house?
That one is like walking funny. All right. Okay. You can. This one's kind of crazy. I never really thought about this one until I read this list.
Oh.
You have to go through school all over again.
I see. I haven't.
Not yet. You haven't experienced this, of course.
No.
But you're going to be doing homework and doing all that again. I was like,
I'm gonna be.
when yeah, you're like, oh, that's my wife.
Yeah, she's just the smart one.
Yeah. Well, like when
she can just say eligible, right?
when you got through school, were you like, so you're like, oh, thank God, never. I'm not doing that shit again.
Oh hell.
Oh.
No. Or I thought like when you went to college, you were gonna like learn something that mattered in your life, and then I went to college.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's just another bullshit like high school. I was like, this fucking sucks. Why do you need to know so much science and math to learn how to be?
You don't.
Yeah.
Like, think of all the stuff. Like, what would you say? 90% of like all the stuff that you learned,
You don't
ever use.
I job shadowed a physical therapist in high school my last semester.
Yeah.
And I was asking him, what the fuck do you need to be a physical therapist, need to learn so much science and math? Because it is tons of science and math. And those are the hardest courses for me.
Yeah.
Just because it don't make sense. You just have to learn formulas and stuff like that. And it was the hardest for me to learn. And he just was like, weed them out. They weed you out.
Yeah.
They go, this motherfucker doesn't want to be a physical
Yeah.
therapist. So we're going to make him learn all this science and math it doesn't really matter about anatomy or anything like that. And it's just I don't know. I guess.
Well, you want to talk about someone that's anti-school? Talk to Lee.
I'm with Lee, man.
Yeah.
I'm with him on that.
It's crazy because, I always talk about this. When you start a new job, what do you have to do? You have to learn how to do the job,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you don't learn those skills in school.
Right.
He's like, and they're like, what kind of experience do you have? Like, at this job? Because I have zero experience at this job. Like, I mean, unless you did a lateral move, which, sometimes you will do that, I guess, but if you're a computer programmer or something like that, but like, I'm going to have to learn what you guys do. I don't know what your guys' systems are. I don't know what you guys'
100%.
So I just always laugh at that. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
you have to train. The whole point of like going to a new job, someone has to train them to do the job. And usually pretty much anybody could do the job of, whatever
it is. Yeah. If you learn over time, you can do that job, but it takes time to train that person to do that job. Not anything you can learn from a book in a classroom.
Yeah.
Yenta.
Yeah. So, this one has, this one's kind of funny. If you're female, if you're a guy, you probably don't care, but like, I could see her, a whole room of people see your vagina and nipples. At that point, you probably don't care. You're like, get this thing out of me. Get it out. Were you there? Were you in the room? Like, you were there for both?
Yep.
I heard can be a traumatizing experience for
the first
guys.
one was traumatizing for sure. For my wife, absolutely. It was bizarre because it was weird. Like, I'm like, up by her head side, right? And then I cut the umbilical cord down by the baby, and then there was a nurse and a doctor, and then there's another nurse, and then another nurse, and then there was like 8 nurses, and then they were like, get out of here.
Oh my God.
And I was like, is my wife dead? I was in another room with a baby. Like, yeah. And so that one was crazy. And man, we were in the hospital for like 3 days for that one.
Dang.
And this one was just like, I saw her just come out.
Yeah.
And I seen half a body, and then the doctor was like, told my wife, grab the kid. My wife was like, no.
You grabbed the kid. Isn't that your job? You grabbed the kid.
And so then it was just like, it was like baby. And it was like happy and healthy, and it was what it was. It was like, I don't know.
Wow.
It's fucking weird though. Just see a kid just come out of. It's weird. It's weird.
I can imagine. All right. Okay.
Fucking weird.
So this one's kind of like I think of
Go dogs.
Whether it's having a kid or not having a kid, it's all selfish anyways. But she says, you don't get to have facials, no beauty products, no alcohol. And I've known a lot of girls that are drinkers or, not like alcoholics, but like, they're like, boy, what I could give for a glass of wine right now. You know, what's funny is back in the day, they didn't give a shit. They're like, I was conceived like hammered or like, I continually drank and smoked or, I was in the room while your dad was chain smoking and like, we turned out fine. I think we did. But what do you think of that?
I was a dickhole like when my wife was
you're
pregnant.
all getting hammered.
Oh, because I was like, built-in PD. You can't drink, but I sure can.
That's hilarious. What a jerk.
I know. What an asswipe. But
still better than probably what our parents were doing.
Yeah. They were ripping them.
Going to bar, like, let's go clubbing. Like, well, I guess I'll stay home and nurture this thing in my body.
Right.
So newborns throw up all the time.
Oh, son of a bitch. That sucks to the nth degree because you'll feed them a full bottle and they'll throw up more than you fed them. And you're like, what did I just do that for? Well, why did we just go through that struggle?
Yeah.
Just to have yak all over me. I remember it being a lot worse with the first one. This one, not as bad. I mean, she's literally only still 6 months old, but
the first one's got to be worse for like so many reasons too, because you're just not used to that kind of thing too, right?
The smell of it is horrible.
Which
horrible.
The next one on the list is all me. Your house will never be tidy.
No, it will not.
And I'm like, oh God, that one would be a nightmare.
Oh, dude.
Like,
I love coming here to Studio 12A and it's tidy, man. Because I have like a thing, and I hate when there's dishes in the sink. Like I just have to have them cleaned. Like you just have to like warp.
There's no way getting around it, right?
You just have to warp your mind into another level.
Because I've known some of the cleanest people in my entire life. They have kids, and they're just like,
yes,
you can't. Like you just,
John.
What are you gonna do?
I lost.
Yeah. You know what?
Game over.
One of my biggest pet peeves too is like I used to drive around with my ex. We used to like, well, wonder which houses have kids, and you just see all those orange and yellow toys out in the front. You're like, you're just like, oh, gee, let me think.
Yeah, there's a fucking bunch of crayons in the front yard. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. There's a fire. No, it's not that bad, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, a fire.
Stickers and shit everywhere. Bubbles.
Right. The fires come a little bit later. Then they're like, wow, fire. Oh, this is kind of fun. Like caveman shit here.
Luckily, we haven't even had to put like the locks like you do on like cabinets. Yeah. We haven't had to do that
you
yet.
Have the little fork protectors and the...
surge protector.
I think that's the first thing you do, right?
Yeah,
like,
we definitely have that. But she's so tall. Like my kids are tall. They're like tall and skinny. I guess like me. But so yeah, for sure. I have like little like a corner or something. We have like little bumper things on them.
Oh, okay.
And stuff because they can hit their head.
Did I ever tell you one of my brother took a fork and put it in the
That
socket?
really happened?
Oh yeah, everything went.
That's what happened to Andy.
Everything went, and I was like, oh my God, like he lit, like it lit up, and I'm like, oh my God, and he's just like sitting there, like he's like scared. He's like, I'm like, oh, he's alive. That's good. That's good. I was like, oh, that was scary because it I think it just like it immediately just put him back, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
I haven't experienced that yet. I hope I don't ever have to. But she's starting to open cupboards and stuff.
Yeah,
she can open the
curious
fridge now.
Yeah,
like just like I want a pouch.
It's time to explore, and the only way to do it is in this house I'm locked in, this prison cell.
Yeah,
like yeah.
My wife will she'll leave them alone upstairs, and there's no like guard from the stairs, and she's like, "Oh, they're fine." But she still gets ready in the morning, like that's a nice benefit of being a guy. Like, we just have to put water on our hand, and
except for when you have like raccoon.
Move it over our raccoon eyes, and move it over our hair to make it so we don't have bedhead, right? Right. And then we can just go or put a hat on, right?
Boom. There you go.
Done and done. the women have to put the makeup on, straighten the hair.
I mean, they don't have to.
But my wife still does, right? 20, 30 minutes in the morning. And I'm like,
you count? It's 23 minutes?
20, 30 minutes.
20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You said 23 minutes. You're like, wow, here we go.
I did that once, honestly, in San Antonio, because we lived in like a small house there.
Yeah.
And I was just...
it's like one bedroom or one bathroom, and then you're like, okay, well.
Bedroom, bathroom, little front room, kitchenette, and then that was our like little domicile there in San Antonio. And I just was like timing her one morning, and I was like,
no.
I extrapolated that over a week.
Oh no. And then you did an average.
And then years. And I was like, that's...
Did she like that when you gave her that information?
Don't ever do that. I mean, oh man, it might as well just toss kitty litter in the pussy, right? Just dry it up and like, you're not fucking for a week now, faggot.
Wow.
Done and done.
Wow.
I was like, I'm just gonna be gay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh God. Okay, how about this one? This would be bad.
Uh-oh.
You could have an uncontrollable child screaming on an airplane.
Don't take them on an airplane.
Don't take them on an airplane, or don't make them crazy so they're screaming all the time. Okay.
Give them a beverage.
You could always tell. Can you always tell those kids that grow up in like a chaotic upbringing? You know, like Kroll and Drew used to talk about this a lot. How crazy kids that are always like nutty come from like chaotic environments. Like they're always screaming or fighting or throwing shit or like whatever. Yeah. So like, you know, obviously like kids are going to have their tantrums or something like that. But like when kids are always having a tantrum or always screaming or like, that kind of says something about the parents.
I think about that too. Well, obviously when, saying that my kid goes to a daycare, it's like I don't control what environments those kids come from, and those kids are in my kid's environment,
right? And
if my kid doesn't come from a chaotic environment but has to intermingle with a kid that comes from a chaotic environment, then she gets that chaos spilled onto her.
Yeah I mean, I went to daycare. Maybe that's why I'm crazy. No, just joking.
That's what happened.
Yeah, no, you get a point, but like, you know, I think more of it is you know, they're, I don't know. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, you see these like kids like in the grocery stores or something like that. They're like running around all fucking nuts. And like, okay, calm down. Like, you don't have to be like crazy all the time. Like,
I've thought about it too a million times. I mean, even before I had a kid, and I see a mom or something at the grocery,
and they're screaming at the kid or like hitting the kid or like just like beating the shit. And it's like, okay, well, there you go. Like,
her with 3 of them, and then the dad's there too. And then I was just thinking, why didn't one of you just stay home with them?
Oh, there you go.
Have to go.
Right. Yeah. What does this have to be a family outing? Like, what is this?
Just one stay home. I'll take the kids. I'll be at home.
Right.
You go to the grocery store. Everybody has to get groceries.
That's a great point. Never thought about that.
I always think about that because I'm like, whenever we go to, my kid had a meltdown at Costco.
Oh God.
Like fucking just. I mean, they just go off the deep end sometimes. Like,
meltdown. Yeah.
She just goes like, ah! And it was like screaming. And I'm like, I had to pick her up because she didn't want to be picked up, but she was going out into the parking lot. And I'm just like, people are looking at me and I'm like, this is my kid. I'm not kidnapping her. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, it's mine. Cause I was like, so.
I think most people get it though, you know, and like, and a lot of parents, they understand. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, well, it's the people like me that don't understand. Like, what the hell's going on over there? Yeah. It's the people that parents, they're like, we've been there, man. Like, I will never forget. I was on this airplane and I had a kid in front of me, a kid to the side of me, and a kid in back of me, all screaming the entire flight. And I came back and I posted about it. I was like, well, I had a fun experience. And I posted about it. I had never been attacked that much ever like by all the moms. Oh, like they all fucking went, like they lost their shit on me. I'm like, I'm sorry. That was my experience. That was my experience. Yeah. I'm like, how dare you? I'm like, do you realize like how that was like a nightmare? And I'm like, I didn't choose to be in that nightmare. And I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. They didn't want their kids screaming ever, but Stern, I always listen to Stern. And Stern was playing these clips of this crazy person on this airplane like a couple like days ago. I don't know. It was like maybe it was over Thanksgiving or something like that. And this person started like just screaming. And then this other person, he's like, Stern goes, crazy brings out crazy. And they're like this other lady. She stands up after this other person was like finally like contained. They're like, and then like this. And some lady stands up. She goes, this person she's been possessed by the devil. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, can you imagine? Like you're on a flight like this and like crazy brings out crazy. I'm like, and I think that it's kind of like the same with like kids. They don't know. They just hear another kid start screaming. They're like, well, I'm going to start screaming because I don't know what's going on. Yeah. And like, like I can't understand English very well right now.
You can't reason with them. 2.5-year-old. No. 2.5-year-old. Look, people are like terrible twos, whatever. Like, like you can't reason.
Right. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Like,
they just hear screaming. They're like, well, I guess I'll start screaming.
And you're literally locked in a tin can flying over.
Oh, and like, Memphis. There's a lot of stuff going on, like, ear pressure, or air pressure on your ears and stuff like that, so I don't know. It's just, listen, it's a shitty situation. So I like what you say. Just don't fly with them.
Just don't. Go to an 18 and over resort, man.
Yeah,
hey, grandparents. Hey,
remember that thing remember that car that Homer Simpson created with the bubble, like it was like this ugly ass car, but it was like it had this bubble for the kids, and you just throw the kids in this locked bubble.
And sometimes the kids are in the back seat. They're hollering. They're making you nuts. There's got to be something you can do about that.
What about a separate soundproof bubble dome for the kids with optional restraints and muzzles?
Bullseye!
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the car designed for the average man, the Homer.
Me literally having two of them, and I don't think my wife would say the same.
So the last one I'm going to point out here, this one's kind of obvious. I think this is like the most obvious thing ever, but it is a thing. Like if you are questioning having kids and you want to keep certain things going, your relationship with your fun friends, I like that, fun friends, will change. And I'm like, well, no shit. Like, oh, I'm not going clubbing with Billy anymore. Okay. Right. Like what? Or you're like, you can't. You have human beings that you need to like actually take care of now, right? Like that's an obvious one. I just think that's
lucky enough that we had them later in age to where
right. You're that side of your system for the most part, right?
The fun friends are pretty much gone. Mm-hmm. She has a few fun friends because she's younger than me, but they are for the most part like they're professionals. They're like,
I think girls kind of can get out of that like sooner too, because
they're more
guys
mature
like
than us. Yeah, guys want to fuck. Guys want to fuck. This is what it is, man. I swear, I hate it. It's gonna go
all right.
Back to that.
Okay, let's move on to something different here, Steve. Your phone right there.
Oh,
have you ever been so tired that you've passed out on your phone? Like you're like mid text or something, or like searching something, like on a whatever Reels or TikTok, whatever, and you're just like you pass out. Have you ever been that tired where you have passed out in the middle of on your phone?
Laugh, but I literally fall asleep listening to podcasts every night.
See, that makes a lot of sense.
Just in one ear,
yeah.
And I sleep on the other ear. I'll wake up and roll over and sleep on the other ear. Switch it over to my other ear. I'll wake up and find where I fell asleep on the podcast. I'll rewind back to it and start listening.
There you go.
And fall asleep.
Oh, and fall asleep again?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Bill Simmons podcast.
Oh, I love Bill Simmons, man. He's great.
That one puts me to sleep.
Oh, wait, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, you have Bill Simmons, like, talking you to sleep.
He's just the NBA. He's just blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, he just starts, he's like, the Kings were, I'm like,
yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I bring this up because the other day, I've actually been so tired. So I have this bed. This bed creeps me out, by the way, because I've had several beds in the past. They do nothing for me, like nothing. This new bed, I don't know what it is with this bed. I remember when I first got it, I would you lay on it boom, I'm out. I'm like out. Ooh. It's crazy. I should be their spokesperson, right?
Sponsor.
Which is good and bad because like sometimes you just want to lay there and like, kind of like, watch something or like whatever. But I have been on this phone and I've dropped my phone on my face, like on my head and stuff like that, like falling asleep. But I've never had this one until this past week. I was on my phone and I passed out and my head fell on the phone. My head. And Steve, my head fell so hard and fast. I cut. I don't know if you can see this still. I cut like it there's a gash in my, and it bled. I was like bleeding. I was like, man, that kind of hurt. I was like, I hope that doesn't like I hope it doesn't leave like a big bump on my, and I later went to check and I go, oh my God, I cut myself from passing out on my phone.
What's your Casper mattress? What is it?
I don't know what it is.
Tuft and needle?
I don't know.
We gotta get a sponsor.
I know. I should get a sponsor from this.
Josh and Friends podcast.
I don't know though.
This will make you sleep so hard you'll phone
cut yourself.
Your nose.
I don't know though. Do they want lawsuits? This might cause some lawsuits. This bed is so good. Jesus.
That did happen like back in the day. It was 10 years ago. Probably when I was still like snuggling my girlfriend. Slash my wife now.
Spooning?
I dropped the phone
on her.
Perfect.
Oh God.
And I grabbed it right away and was like, she woke up and I was just like,
now, were you awake when you, you were like sneaking? You're like,
I like did a micro sleep and dropped it and it hit her face. And I grabbed it and I was like, pretended to sleep. That's a true story.
That's good.
I gave her the old doinker and then she woke up and was like, what the heck? And
That's
I was
good.
Like, oh, hey, what's up?
That's good stuff.
Yeah. What happened? I don't know anything. I don't know what kind of mattress it was though. So we
okay.
Can't get a sponsorship out of that one.
Okay. Well, now Steve, I know we used to hear a lot about emotional support animals. You like emotional support animals?
It crossed my mind to bring my dog here today. Just to fuck your world up.
Yeah.
100-pound black lab.
Oh, I mean, I love labs.
I know.
I do
bring him in here.
I really do love labs. Oh, that would fucking tear shit up. This place would be.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God.
I did. I swear to God.
All my hats and like.
Because he saw me leaving and he was just like looking at me like, hey man, can I go?
Like,
and I was like,
can I go with you?
I know. I was like, I think so, buddy, but I like Josh enough to not. So you're welcome.
Even if I like. We're like, hey, Steve, can we put him in the
support animal?
You're like, can we put him in the bathroom? You're like, he's just like going in circles,
banging. Oh, he would be losing his fucking mind right now.
Anyway, so do you think there should be a line drawn when it comes to emotional?
1,000%. And why isn't there? Like, it's a simple thing of like. Because
I like Crowley used to talk about this, and he'd be like, listen, I love my dog.
Yeah.
But you know what? Everyone else doesn't love your dog.
Yes.
And everybody shouldn't be forced to love your dog. And what about like all those people like now they're on like, airplanes and stuff like that. And like peanuts are outlawed, but like there's a lot of people that are allergic. I'm actually allergic to dogs. But what's funny is like I'm allergic to, I love dogs. I love animals, but it's like, I would have to get like what are those like, like a poodle type,
like the ones that don't have,
what do they call it?
Shed as much.
Labradoodle. Right. I'd have to get like some kind of, dog like that. Dude, where it doesn't affect me, but
it's insane how much dogs shed.
It is crazy.
It's fucking nuts. You can vacuum all day long.
Oh,
and it's like my kid eating Chex Mix or pretzels. Like,
right.
There's just fucking crumbs and shit everywhere. Right.
Yeah.
That's and dog hair everywhere. It doesn't matter. You just vacuumed everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. So yeah, exactly what you're saying is like, there's a line drawn in the sand and where everyone's like, oh, I have an emotional support animal. Oh, okay. You don't have to fucking travel with it. You're just talking about it.
They're
like, don't bring a dog.
They're in every store too. It's like, okay, do they have to be in every store? Like, I get it. Like listen, I love a lot of things. I mean,
You don't.
I'm trying to think of like something I'd bring in there.
Box of records with you. Everywhere you go.
Yeah, like it's gonna. Listen, it's not like I'm going shopping. Like even like I'm just trying to think of like where was I? I was at like I wandered into like I never ever wander into where was this? It was like a weird. What was that store? One of those like stores is kind of like a Ross, but it's not a Ross. Like a Big Lots. That's where I was. I was like, I'm gonna wander into a Big Lots. I wandered into a Big Lots. There was like 2 dogs in there, and I was like, how long are you planning on being in here? Like it's not long. Like. And it's not like this has nothing to do with like, well, it doesn't matter here anyways. Like people have air conditioning. You have to have air conditioning in Arizona. So it's like your dog's going to be gone out, like inconvenienced for like, I don't know, a half hour. Like I'm sure he's going to be fine. Right?
I'll bring my dog just to get him out of the house or whatever. But if I'm getting takeout or something, if I'm going into a store, and especially now, cause it's like, good weather out.
Yeah.
And if he has to stay in the back of my car.
Oh.
I'm like, hey, buddy, let's go.
Someone's like, like bangs out your window.
Yeah.
Like, hey!
No, not now, but like, in the summer, he can stay at home. He's in an air-conditioned house, like big fucking deal. But if I'm just going through a drive-through or something, I'll be like, hey, dude, go for a ride.
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
But like, I'm not taking him into a Big Lots. I'm not taking him into Fry's. I'm not taking him into fucking anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy.
It's weird. I just don't, I'm always fascinated.
It's not even weird. It's crazy. I
think it is kind of a little crazy too, because like what
crazy people do that.
Yeah. Like what? Like, well, this is my princess.
I was just saying like how crazy it is to take kids.
Yeah,
it's crazier to take a fucking dog.
Well, yeah, the kid, the kid's a
necessity,
kid.
You got
right.
To.
Yeah.
But you don't need to fly with your dog. You don't need to
kind of weird.
Go to
well, also
assuming you came from a house.
Well, it's really traumatic for the
store.
It's really traumatic for the dog to fly below. Like I'm sure it is, but it's like, what about the guy next to you that's like literally like severely allergic to dogs, and it's like, well, fuck him. Fuck him then.
It's not that weird of a thing to be allergic to dogs.
No, but it's not. It's out of their control. It's not out of your control to like bring the animal onto the flight, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, well, you can like be a respectful human being, right? I don't know. Well, listen. The reason I bring this up, it's not because I just want to bitch about
fucking animals.
Yeah. Fuck you, animals and your dogs. Like, yeah, I get dogs. Like, but
dude,
there's this guy. I don't think they do anything. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think it does anything. So anyway, like, look at all these buttons. So, okay. So there was this, it's still going. Still going. It's like, don't. I'd have to turn it up if it did anything. It's probably like playing some weird thing that I loaded years ago. Anyway. So there's this guy and he was going to go to a baseball game. I don't know if you heard this story. It's pretty weird. It's pretty odd. Anyway, he's going to a baseball game and he decided to bring his emotional support animal, which was an alligator. Can you imagine like you're walking to a baseball game and you're like, is that an alligator on a leash? Like he has an alligator with him.
Is that a prehistoric reptile?
He had an alligator. So this guy actually tries to get into the ballpark with his emotional support alligator.
Yikes.
I have mixed feelings about this because if people are like, where do you draw the line? Like, okay, so you can allow listen, most pit bulls that I know are nice animals. But if there is not a nice animal, they can tear your arm off, right? So like you could have like an animal that could tear your arm off, or you could have like an alligator that can, rip and shred your leg or whatever. But like, where do you draw the line? Didn't they have like a pelican one time, like on an airplane? Like they had an emotional support pelican on an airplane one time. Like, where do you draw the line? Everywhere. So I'm like, my point is like, I don't know if Corolla said this, is like, just let all animals, like, it will be like South America. Like you're on a bus and there's just fucking crazy animals all over you're riding next to like a donkey or something like that on a bus. Like, where do you draw the line? I just say, open it up. Here's why. This is what it's going to force the stadiums or these stores or whatever with lawsuits, they're going to just say, we got to go back to the old days. Because you know why? People like me who want to get bit by these animals because I want to sue them. There will be a lot more of me in these stores. I want to sit next to this alligator at a game. I want to sit next to this alligator because I want to get bit.
I don't. I'll be at home watching the game. Maybe.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not going to these games anymore, really. But it would be kind of fun. Like, I'm like, so what are you doing, man? I'm taking selfies with me and a donkey next to me at the game. They're like, are you at a baseball game? Yeah. Well, here, let me turn around with the donkey.
Oh, he just bit me.
Yeah. He just bit me. Yeah. And those buck teeth hurt.
It's time to make millions.
Yeah.
Fuck you, State Farm.
Yep. And I have it on video. He bit me. He bit my arm. They're like, well, what did you do? And I'm like, oh, now I'm like
sat here.
I deserved it. This is like, how short was your skirt? How dare you, Steve? How dare you?
I'm throwing it out there. Fuck reptiles. I don't mess with anything reptilian.
Oh, so
snakes.
So
iguanas, now I don't.
Would you say piranhas?
Iguanas?
Oh, iguanas.
I don't know, man. The piranhas, I'm not worried about that. I don't go swimming.
You don't like to swim?
I'll go ahead and stay on land. But snakes, lizards, all that shit, no thank you. My wife's all deathly. Okay. A lot of people are deathly afraid of spiders. And I'm like,
you could just kill
do.
Yeah, right.
Reptiles, it's a different thing.
Right, they can actually do some damage.
I'm just going away.
Well, unless
you don't want to smash them because it's blood, guts, everything.
Well, the thing about a spider is you kind of have to do something about it, because if you don't, then he's going to come out like and maybe bite you when you're sleeping. Because
what I'm saying is, like, spiders, not scary. Reptiles, fucking scary. I'm not trying to hold a snake.
That's a scary spider.
A scary spider, but it's still, that's all it takes.
That's true.
Like, oh, I got to go get a napkin.
I like it.
Done. Spider's done. Snake in the corner of the room right there. I'm literally leaving. I'm going to your room.
Yeah.
I don't. Alligator, get the fuck out of here. Crocodile.
Okay, well. So the guy, he claims it was his service animal. It got him through a lot of rough times.
Probably kept motherfuckers away from. He doesn't like people.
Yeah,
just carry this fucking alligator with you everywhere you go, and they'll all go away from you.
Well, listen, hey, to him it was important.
Right.
Again, what we're talking about, it's like, okay, well, to you it's important. Okay, so like, I guess it got him through depression, deaths in the family, and he had a recent bout of cancer. And Wally, I guess that's the name of the
Wally. Wally the Alligator.
Wally the Alligator. Wally was there for all of it, and he was like, he was there helping him through these tough times.
Great.
What do you think about that?
I think that guy should, just fucking go anywhere else. Like, go to fucking Afghanistan. Take your alligator. Go away.
Oh, God. Idiot. Oh, poor Wally.
Fuck Wally.
Wally had nothing to do with this. He wanted to stay in the pond at home.
Go live in his swamp. Little Wally should... He wants to be.
Listen, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying Wally didn't have anything to do with this.
All right. Fuck the guy who
there you go.
Wally.
Crazy guy
fuck the psycho who owns Wally. Wally, you're the man. Go fucking in a swamp, eat fish. I don't give a fuck. Just get away from people and life. Get away. Go fucking live in your swamp.
Oh, fuck God.
Off, Wally.
Oh.
Fuck you, Wally. Just kidding. I love you, Wally.
All right, Steve.
Full circle. I love you, Wally.
Steve, Christmas is coming up. What do you think of Christmas? Are you a big Christmas guy?
It's cool.
Is it your favorite holiday? Is it? I mean, like,
has to be, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Well, for you, yes. I think Christmas is.
Wait, why for me? What am I fucking?
I'll tell you
Christmas
why.
Guy? Okay.
I think Christmas, if you have a kid or a family, is a million times cooler than
you have a family.
Well, yeah, and it was cool when I was a kid.
Okay.
Like. You seeing your kids open presents and stuff, and like going through the whole like,
but like lights and shit, you feel nostalgic.
I like lights.
Thank you. Look at this fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah. There you go.
Right?
No, I mean I don't hate it. I think for me, I've always been a Halloween guy.
Oh,
I'm a Halloween guy, but I don't hate. I certainly don't hate Christmas. I love Christmas. I think it's fun.
I think it gets people through the winter months. right? Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. It all just
like the winter months here are like a rough. It's like beautiful.
No.
It's a beautiful, most
But
great
that's why
place.
we're here. That's why we're in
Yeah.
Arizona. Lee, fucker. Why are you in Seattle?
Oh,
Isn't he
wow.
there?
Took a shot at Lee.
Shots fired. I'm just saying, dude, it's beautiful in Arizona.
Yeah.
Don't move here, people.
What are you saying? Like, we don't want any more of you here.
want any more.
Not any more of you here.
Dude,
California, you stay here. You stay there.
stay over there with your alligators. Fucking Wally.
Where was he? Got to be Florida, right? Where was Wally?
Probably.
That's got to be. Where?
Louisiana.
Yeah, it's like, he's not in Alaska. Imagine that'd be even worse. Wally's like, God, I didn't ask for this.
Me and Wally are from Omaha.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. I think the hardcore winter months which you've experienced in Seattle or me growing up in
Right.
Indiana, like, it's shit.
Yeah.
It's really weird when your day is dictated by the weather.
Yeah.
You can't play basketball today. Why?
I did-
Because the weather said
Yeah.
no.
I had to ditch my truck several times. Like, it doesn't, well, yeah, they always talk about this. Like, people in the Midwest, I always like, when you see on the news, like Seattle and Portland, stuff like, you idiots don't know how to drive in the snow. You know, it's like, yeah, but it's all hills. Like, everything's like crazy high hills and mountains and stuff like that. So, like, in Seattle, in the city, when it pours snow, which it doesn't do it a lot, but when it does, it's
Gnarly.
comical. It's like, I don't know if you've seen these videos where like these cars are like going down and they're hitting all the cars on the way down. Like, it's crazy. You can't do anything about it. Even if you have 4-wheel drive, it's like, it'll snow and then it'll like freeze and it'll be like just ice. So it'll be like, you can't, like, what are you going to do? Drive on like ice up a hill? Like, so what they would do is they would like, well, there's nobody patrolling these areas because, like, you know, if it snows and it snows hard and fast, you're driving up this thing, you're like, I'm not gonna make it up this hill. So like I would just have to like pull over and park my truck, and I would just have to, I'd bring boots. I'm like, well, it might snow tomorrow. I'm like, well, I'm packing my boots and all my gear to like walk 5 miles home if I have to, because I'd lived up on this crazy hill, right? So I did that a couple times, right? Jen's probably like, this sounds amazing. It's like San Diego. She doesn't know anything. She's like, she doesn't know.
Everyone talks about like in July here, and they're like, "Oh my God, so hot! It'd be so cool." So I'm like, it's hot everywhere.
But I did it, and like I'd walk home and I'd watch these cars go and like falling into ditches and stuff. I'm like, that's why I ditched my car.
we my second semester of college, I lived in Flagstaff with a couple of my brothers, and my cousin and a couple of his buddies had an apartment right on the other side of NAU, and it was down this long, crazy hill. And so when it would snow really bad up in Flagstaff, we would just sit out on their second story apartment, like, I don't know, a little ledge, and we'd just sit out there and drink and watch cars
it sounds
skid
awesome.
down this hill.
Yeah.
Just doing helicopters down this hill. Like, one time we watched a snowplow just skidding down this hill.
Dang.
We just sit out there and go, yeah, just drinking beers and laughing at people crashing into, like, because
have you been up there a lot, like NAU?
Flagstaff, I've frequented it often in my 20s.
Okay.
Not recently.
So Jordan and Abby, they got a timeshare up there this summer, and they invited Jen and I to come and stay up there. It was awesome. I loved it.
It's cool.
It was great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They kind of like did the kind of like the little bar tour.
Yeah,
right? It was like super fun.
Oh yeah, the downtown area is really cool.
It was awesome.
But it was just hilarious, like, because we just sit up there. It's like, oh, yep, that hill's frozen.
Yeah, when you
let's
know,
go watch cars crash.
Yeah,
okay.
When you
just sit
know
up
and
there
everybody
watch
else
cars
doesn't,
crash, like,
or
all night long. Just
my favorite. This is my favorite thing ever when it snowed in Seattle. So you'd always have this guy who was like a total dickhead. And everyone's going like, you know, you're supposed to drive under the speed limit when it snows. Right. And you'd have this guy like fucking going like crazy. And then, you know, a mile ahead, you see him like just tipped over upside down in the ditch. Like, and I'd be like, hey, how you doing, buddy? How you going? You having fun over there?
Right on.
Dickhead. Yeah, it's so great.
Have fun.
Good stuff.
Shovel yourself.
Oh, I love that shit. Yep. So There's a lot of those good times. But anyway, Christmas.
Oh yeah.
So, do you have a favorite Christmas song?
No.
Is Christmas music now? Is your wife a big fan of Christmas music?
I don't think they are at all. Her aunt is like lives with the family still, so it's my wife's mom's sister. Is
Okay.
Special needs or whatever. But they take care of her.
Okay.
And she lives at the house, and man, she loves the Christmas music.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of poisoned the household. They don't really like Christmas music because like, oh, fucking Aunt Lori's playing Christmas music.
Almost every girl I know loves the Mariah Carey
Oh, well,
All I Want for Christmas.
I mean,
Is
it's iconic.
It is iconic. But I hear it a lot now. Like I hear it.
It's kind of getting played out.
It is. It's
for sure.
For the first, I don't know, 15 years, I heard it, but I didn't hear it like now. It's like we're having building festivals around this song. I'm like,
well,
really?
and now you hear
wow.
like, oh, she makes $30 million a year.
Yes,
off of residuals or whatever. And
dude,
it's
it's crazy how much money she's made off that song.
So now it's like annoying. Like it's like I don't want to hear it for that. I don't want anyone to play it because that bitch doesn't need any more money.
Like she does not need to make more money on that song. That's kind of like
she's not even hot anymore.
I mean, listen,
she was iconically hot when we were young.
She was. Listen, nobody's going to escape the
the P.
Father
Diddy.
Time, but
the P. Diddy video with her. I just got a boner. Is that weird?
You saw Dolly Parton dressed up like a
yuck
cowgirl the other day.
Yuck. And my boner just went away. That's gone.
So take a little hammer and they went
stick figure.
smacked it down.
Yeah. Oh, ding.
Well, what was the thing you were talking about? Like they were like, listen, man, she is so hot
for a 75-year-old, right? My dad wants to bang her.
Yeah, they leave out the dot.
Yeah.
Like she's hot for 75 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, she is in incredible shape for 75 years old. Yeah.
She's hot.
And listen, we're not ripping on Dolly. Everyone, she's an icon.
Cancel
she's a national treasure.
This guy.
I love Dolly Parton.
Hats off.
I celebrate many albums by Dolly Parton.
Don't want to
Dolly
bang
Parton. Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton.
Don't want to bang her. Don't want to bang her.
I mean, would that be one of those things though, or like, would you bang a 75-year-old Dolly Parton just to say bang Dolly Parton? Like,
yes,
they always say like, what year did you bang her? 1982 when she was at her peak. Like,
I took those little white cowboy shorts off her. I went to town. Why was she dressed up like that? I felt bad.
I don't know. Well, I felt bad. You know what I felt bad for?
I was just like,
who did the Cowboys play? Like, weren't you there as like you're there to perform, but now you're cheering for the Cowboys.
You're
like,
dressed as a cowboy cheerleader.
This is kind of you're taking sides. You're taking sides.
I wasn't watching it, but I remember seeing it in the background, just thinking, "What the fuck? Is that Dolly Parton?" I was like, what the fuck?
It is crazy too. With
I'll have some more turkey
with Christmas music. Just to go back to Christmas music, because I'm sure Dolly Parton's had a Christmas song or whatever. But like Christmas music, we were talking about what's her face? Mariah Carey.
She on fire.
And Mariah Carey, that song, like you release a Christmas album, that song gets played a million times for a month straight. Now it's even more. Like they start playing Christmas music right like after Thanksgiving. Boom. Christmas music time. I'm like, oh man, this is exhausting. But it's like, if you have a hit Christmas song, like I think it was like Bing Crosby that had like White Christmas, sold like 55 million albums or something like that. I'm like, 55 million albums sold or something crazy. It was like some sort of crazy amount like that. But some people are just known for their Christmas songs, right?
Are they?
Absolutely.
Who?
You have like what's that? Rocking around the Christmas tree and the Christmas.
Yeah.
Like you have like some of these
that makes
iconic
me think of Home Alone, right?
Right.
Home Alone,
There's a bunch
Christmas movies, right?
Yeah, I mean there's a bunch of artists that are known for their Christmas music only, but but I don't know. I mean, I guess it'd be better to be known for just a Christmas song than no song, right?
Yeah. I forget what podcast I was listening to, but they were like, we're doing the wrong thing, buddy. We need to make Christmas songs. We need to quit writing on comedy albums and write fucking Christmas songs.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Like even, I mean, along those same lines, think of Queen and their fucking rocking albums like We Will Rock You,
right.
We Are the Champions, like how they're just played at stadiums galore. Like, and it's like, dude, they made fucking anthems that are like literally iconic. You can't win a championship and not hear that shit. You can't be in fucking at a Suns game and
you're grabbing your trophy listening to We Are the Champions.
We will rock you. And that dude was just a gay dude.
Well, you know, that's Queen is a very eclectic group. They're very different because all of the members wrote big hit songs, which is weird. You'd think that it was just like Freddie Mercury because he sang the songs, but you know, Brian May wrote a lot of those, like the rockin' songs. Right. Like, and then he's trying to like, we got to even this out. You know, you keep doing these like, you know, kind of theatery songs, you know, and then he's like, we gotta rock this out. We gotta like we gotta even this out, man. Like we gotta do some like, you know, One Vision or like, you know, fucking We Will Rock You. He's like, but then we'll end it with We Are the Champions, you know, like, you know,
we'll make it fucking theatrical. And you're like, wait a minute, you know, you're just it's like an anthem, and now
it's like a Bohemian Rhapsody, like, you know, it's very like, you know, and then it's like Brian May's like, can we rock out at the end of this? Like, yeah, I don't know, but
I guess that's the perfect the
yin and the yang.
Said, the eclectic. Like it just
that's why they were so big.
Clash,
because you had Freddie Mercury doing the kind of like the, you know, the theater kind of stuff, and then Brian May was the rocker dude. He was the rocker. So, but yeah.
Speaking of blowing dudes. Why'd you do that?
Oh God. Oh, Steve. Well, Steve, you're big you're a big Nickelback fan, right?
No.
I thought you were. I think you're a big Nickelback guy.
No.
Speaking of blown dudes. No, so Nickelback, they're going on tour next year. You going to be down for that? Or
no.
What if you went with me?
I would go with
me, you and Eric.
I'd go.
We're like, just 3 straight dudes at a Nickelback show.
Hello, my friends, meet again. Wait, is that Creed? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's Creed. I think they're touring too.
Oh!
Can you imagine if they toured together? It'd be amazing.
Ultimate.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, they talked about that on a podcast I recently listened to. They were talking about how those are bangers, and I'm just like,
you know what? I do like. There is a Nickelback song that I don't.
It's nostalgic. It'll make you think of a time,
right.
Period when you couldn't turn on the radio and not hear it.
Look at this photograph.
Yeah. That reminds me of bars when you used to be able to smoke in bars.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah.
Oh,
were you
smell like hell?
Were you anti-smoking in bars? Or were you pro-smoking in bars? Because remember, like it was like very polarized back in the day.
I used to hate it because it was when I turned 21 out here. I didn't smoke, and I just remember, you know, obviously I was frequenting bars, and I just fucking hate it because you had to wash all your shit. The next day. You were like, oh my God, that smells like hell.
My buddies and I remember we would go out to bar and like
the worst.
Well, we were kind of like, well, this is like in Seattle. I don't know. Were you here? Were you 21 when you turned here?
Yes.
Very different than in Seattle. So Seattle, like if you go outside, you're just going to stand out in the rain.
Yeah.
Right. So we were kind of like anti because we didn't have a lot of friends that smoked, but we had friends that smoked. We were like, okay, well, now they just have to go stand out in the rain, like, and smoke. So like, we were kind of like, well, that's kind of, if you're smoking at a bar, we were like, you know what, we're all for it. You're drinking, you're doing whatever. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, the double hangover was horrible. You have a hangover from drinking, and then you'd be like smelling like smoke, and you're like, oh God. And then you take a shower and all that film of smoke would come off you. And then the clothes, of course, would all just be massive smoke, like just filled. It was terrible.
It smelled like you were smoking.
It was crazy.
I was just in a bar.
So like after that took effect and like they started outlawing smoking, then we were like, this is pretty amazing. this is pretty awesome. I kind of like this a lot. I kind of like this. Because then, you're not inhaling everybody's smoke. There's nowhere to go.
It was insane.
Do you remember like when they used to have smoke? This is comical. They used to have smoking.
Or non, right?
Would you like non-smoking or smoking? We're like, well, we'll take non-smoking. But you're like sitting there smelling everybody's smoke.
Oh, they're smoking right there and I'll be there?
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Like what?
What a difference.
Like, they would have like 2 steps down and then you're like, you're in the corner over here, but like, okay, this is pretty funny.
Honestly, I still think that's comical on flights. Like that's how old these fucking airplanes are. It still has a non-smoking. It has a cigarette with a line through it.
Scary, by the way, because that was like the early 90s when they stopped doing that or something like that.
Like you could smoke in an airplane?
I remember it. I think I'm the last.
That's insane.
I'm the last generation to like legit remember smoking. They're like,
they had little ashtrays like on the armrests.
They would say like, okay, now put out your smokes or like, acknowledge the no smoking. You're like, wow, that's crazy, right?
Right.
Many passengers without the nicotine habit say their fellow flyers should skip their cigarettes, especially on short flights, like this one between Miami and Orlando. Time in the plane about 50 minutes.
The smoke permeates the whole cabin. It's bad for the smokers. It's bad for the non-smokers. It's even worse for the non-smokers because they are bothered by somebody else's bad habit.
Smoke irritates me. My eyes start to water. It's hard to breathe. I just don't feel good around it.
The proposals voted down today would have stopped all smoking on short flights like this one. But the CAB feels the airlines are doing a good enough job by separating non-smokers from smokers. Any more restrictions would be too much of a headache for the airlines, the government says. The airlines say their barriers are enough, but some flight attendants boldly admit those barriers can't do the job.
I kind of feel like I'm in the bottom of a coal mine, like I'm an old coal worker with all the smoke a lot of times. I know most flight attendants do have sinus problems.
People are just smoking on airplanes. Like,
that's bananas.
Can't get enough of this. It's fucking fantastic.
The pilot is just like ripping a heater. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. That's so crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of like all those Russian pilots, like drinking vodka. Like they're the pilot. Finally, I think they put a stop to that. Welcome to Russian era. Here,
these fuckers fly themselves anyways.
Yeah. Look, did you just hear the pilot pass out? I'm back. I am back.
He's sleeping. He's got a co-pilot.
Yeah, they'll shake him and wake him up. What wakes them up? Another shot of vodka?
Yeah.
Does the job?
All
right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Light another one.
All right, Steve. Well, it's got to end sometime.
No.
And I think it's now. I think, we learned a lot today, Steve. What did we learn today?
Guys want to fuck.
Yep. Wait, we learned emotional support animals.
Yeah, fuck you, Wally. Right?
You're not a fan of Wally. Wait,
alligators. Don't like reptiles.
You like Wally.
Wally.
Wally has nothing to do with this.
You're right.
It's Wally's owner.
Mm-hmm. And we don't like snowy towns. Right?
Snowy town. It looks pretty the first day it snows.
It's beautiful. We love it.
And then you got to deal with it the next 20 days.
I'm dreaming of a not white Christmas.
Palm trees and
rocks.
Cactus. And
rocks in your front yard? Yes, there is. You got to rake them. They look beautiful, right? You got to get a blower out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my sidewalk's pretty.
Well, that was easy.
Lee. You're a handsome man.
You are a handsome man, Lee. All right. All right, buddy. Well,
Eric Tapia.
Tapia. All right.
Reach full.
Steve, is there anything else you'd like to add? Any more shout outs to your friends that you want to call assholes or
Trent and Irie, you're still gay. Don't listen to this, Amanda.
It's too late. She's already got this far.
DTA. Don't
Way too late.
DTA,
Way too late.
DTA.
All right, buddy. It's always fun having you come on.
Still married.
And
for now. Wow. Might be a single guy next podcast.
All right. Okay. For Steve Klunk, I'm Josh. And as always, thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend.